Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucky Loads 15, where you've tuned in to the series known as the Loader Look. This is episode 6, where we look at a current debate or issue going on within the world of horse racing, where I'll give you my opinion on it. It's slightly different to the normal content we make here on my channel, where I normally just give you tips in the format of an each way Lucky 15 bet, but we've been doing this now for a couple of months and we've been having some interesting debates. Last week's one was, should there be a female weight allowance rule in British and Irish racing, which they've recently introduced in France? Should we give it a trial period here? And I gave you my thoughts and opinions on that issue last week, so go back and check that out if you haven't done so already. But the main reason that I do this is because in a couple of weeks now, I know a lot of my loyal followers already know this and probably are sick to death of me repeating it in most of my videos, but I really need all the support I can get. In September, which we already are in a couple of weeks' time, I will be starting my master's degree in sports broadcasting journalism, and to get a bit of an experience, as it were, as this is a slightly new venture for me. I've never really done anything like this before, and it's just somewhere I've decided to take my career. I had a bit of a terrible year last year with my health, and I just really thought about what would I like to do with my life, and I would like to become a sports journalist, but predominantly working within horse racing, as it's a sport I'm most passionate about. And I just decided to create the YouTube channel to help me get on the course, also just as well gain some confidence behind the camera, uploading videos every day. I'm not really technology efficient at the moment. I'm just a kind of a basic level. I just make videos on my iPhone, but I just like sharing with you guys my knowledge and enthusiasm of horse racing, and eventually I do want to get a bit more technical and get out there and do some more videos from horse racing tracks. We have been out to a few this summer, but we've calmed it down a little bit recently because I need to save being a student again, but it's something I will be eager to resume once we start my course, because hopefully that will unlock quite a few doors for me. I might be able to get things like a press pass and that, where I can go to these tracks and it'd be more okay for me to do some video. And also as well, I like to go behind the scenes of some horse racing trainers, show you all the effort that goes in within horse racing, because I think it's really misunderstood and really undervalued, the work that goes into making the sport we all love tick along. So that's something I really want to show on the channel, and I need your help by subscribing to our channel, and many thanks if you have done so already, but if you haven't, please subscribe and like the videos. But anyway, I mentioned this is our series called The Loader Look, episode 6, and the theme we're going to discuss this week is about the upcoming, well, we are already in the National Hunt season. It started back in April, but the upcoming few months where we'll be getting more into the full swing of things on the National Hunt. The flat season will go over to the all-weather, and it will be the jumping season that really takes the main focus in the world of horse racing here in Britain and Ireland. So that's something I just want to discuss with you. Something that I really love about horse racing is always like the jockeys and the trainers championships. Currently the National Hunt champion trainer is Nicky Henderson, and the current champion jockey on the National Hunt scene is Richard Johnson, who was in the shadow for AP McCoy for a very long time. AP McCoy, as we all know, was probably the best jockey in modern times in this country, National Hunt. You could even argue he's probably the greatest ever jockey to grace our scenes here in Britain and Ireland on the National Hunt scene, riding many winners. I think he had nearly 5,000 career wins in the end. He had 20 jockey titles, and he only retired a couple of years ago, but Richard Johnson finished second to him many times, and since AP retired, he's won the 2 subsequent champion jockey titles. But this year, I think it could be a little bit more competitive than it was last year in the champion jockey standings. We've got a few good jockeys up and coming. We've got Harry Skelton, who I have got a bet on each way at 50-1, where the bookmaker will be paying if he comes out in the top 3, and that looks quite good at the moment. But obviously we've still got a very long way to go, a lot of big meetings to come. We've got the Hennessy, Cheltenham, we've got lots and lots of great National Hunt things coming up, loads of big festivals, and I just can't wait for it all to start, really. I'm more of a National Hunt racing fan myself compared to the flat racing. If you didn't know that already, when I made my early vlogs, we were more in like the National Hunt more business end in the horse racing world, and the flat was only just building up. So I have learned a lot though this year, especially by doing these videos and more about flat racing, and I just love it just as much pretty much as National Hunt. But National Hunt racing will always have a special place in my heart. But like I said, I'm just looking into the current jockey situation on National Hunt, who's going to win the championship. Yeah, Richard Johnson, he is probably going to win it, but I think it's going to be a lot more closer this time. I think there's some good jockeys that can definitely challenge him over the next couple of years. I think Harry Skelton, like I've already mentioned, is very good. He could be an up-and-coming force. In my opinion, if he wanted to become champion jockey, because he's been riding so many winners for his brother Dan, who's top of the current Trainers' Championship, he needs to really branch away maybe from his brother's horses. Obviously ride for his brother still, who can produce some great horses, but maybe try and get a few other links with a few more trainers. I know he does ride for a couple of others, but he doesn't ride for them so much. I think he rides for a trainer called Caroline Bailey, but she's not a high quality trainer by any means. She doesn't produce many winners. But I think he just needs to branch out slightly, and if he could maybe get the services of a few more like middle ranking stables, maybe someone, I don't know, like Henry Oliver, or maybe someone up and coming like Tom Lacey, who knows? A few of those kind of trainers that have got some good horses that turn up regularly, but they will be able to provide him with a few more winners than the current rides he gets elsewhere when he's not riding for his brother. So that's something I think Harry would need to achieve if he was to become champion jockey. But I think you've got the likes of Aidan Coleman. It's a very capable jockey, rides for quite a few different trainers. He could be potentially a champion jockey one day. He's already doing pretty good this season. He's had a very good start, and as long as he providing that he stays injury free, he could be one of the main contenders to challenge Richard Johnson this year. You've also got the likes of Noel Feely, who rides a lot of winners, and to be honest is probably one of the best jockeys around. Probably the reason why you wouldn't want to back him maybe if you were going to have a bet now at being champion trainer is because he doesn't ride in the summer. He hasn't been riding anyway as much as Richard Johnson. I know Noel Feely's got a very good relationship with trainers like Harry Fry, who hasn't been amazing this summer, but like I said, the National Hunt in the summer kind of takes a back seat and there aren't many meetings. So Harry Fry's operation will start kicking on soon, and that'll be definitely a stable to keep an eye on, and especially when Noel Feely's aboard. That's always a really red-hot jockey and trainer combination, so take note when that happens. But you've also got the likes of Sam Twiston-Davis as well, who had a very good season last year riding for Paul Nicholls. He could be another one that could finish way up there this season. You've got the likes of Brian Hughes, who I think clinched second place last year in the Jockeys Championship, and he's mainly one of the northern jockeys that rides on their scene. A lot of these jockeys that I've just mentioned, like Harry Skelton, but he does actually tend to go up north. He kind of splits evenly. Aidan Coleman's more of a southern-based jockey, rides more on the National Hunt when they're down in the south. Noel Feely's kind of the same, but these jockeys will go wherever the rides are, but they've kind of got their predominant power bases, and Brian Hughes is probably the king of the northern jockeys when it comes to the National Hunt scene. I think last year he had quite a few like 4 or 5 timers, and that's when he was really closing the gap to Richard Johnson. So if Richard Johnson kind of goes through a sticky patch, which he has had a few recently. He's had a few weeks where he's only just posted a couple of winners on the board, and people like Harry Skelton and Aidan Coleman have managed to like rack up like 10 wins or something compared to like Richard Johnson's 3 or 4. So it has made an interesting start to the jockey season so far, but obviously one of these big things is injury, and if jockeys get injured, then it's always going to be tricky for them to claw back depending how long they miss. If it's just a minor injury and they're just going to be out for a week or so, it doesn't really matter so much. But if they're out for a month, that's pretty much their title challenge gone, providing their main rivals don't suffer injury. So it's always one that will come reliably to can they stay fit for long enough for a whole season. But it'll be really interesting this year. Also as well, I'll just focus on the jumps trainers title a little bit as well. So as I mentioned, Nicky Henderson, currently the National Hunt champion trainer, but for many years it's been Paul Nicholls on the scene. I think he's about 10 titles he's been crowned. Nicky Henderson really won it last year because he had much better calibre of horses than Paul Nicholls. He had more higher rated horses when it came to the big meetings. I think Cheltenham Festival really did it for Nicky Henderson, where he won quite a few big races. He's had the likes of Altior, I think he had Bouvardere, so he was racking up quite a few bits of prize money there, and other trainers couldn't really compete with him when it comes to Cheltenham. Paul Nicholls, for many years, he had the likes of Corto Star and Denman, a lot of top quality horses, but he didn't have a great calibre last season compared to Nicky Henderson, and that's where the title is ultimately won in the end. It's actually not how many wins you have, it's actually how much prize money you get in the National Hunt Trainers title challenge. It's all worked out on how much earnings you get, and Cheltenham Festival obviously is like the mecca festival of National Hunt racing, and that's where often a lot of the big money is. But Paul Nicholls still had a good season, and he could be one of the main title challengers again. Dan Skelton's my pick. I got him at 40 to 1 again each way when I noticed that he was really raunching home. And I noticed as well when I got that bet done, I think it was in about early May, his stable from about February or March have been starting to really pick up, and it's just maintained really. And the reason he's top at the moment is because he's been buying really cheap horses, turning them around where other people couldn't get them to ride really well, and then he's just been racing them, and he's been picking up all the prize money at the summer meeting so far, and he could maybe, just because of what he's been doing, his prize money already is over about 180,000, I think, nearly, compared to second place, which is John Joe O'Neill. So there's quite a big gap there, but obviously there's some races that are worth 180,000. So if John Joe O'Neill was to win one of those races, he'll leapfrog Dan Skelton. But that's kind of what happened last year. It was the big races that really found out to Nicky Henderson being the champion trainer. So it'll be interesting to see how it all goes. I think Dan Skelton's got more of a quality horses this time than he did last year, but it's going to be really interesting. Not sure about Paul Nicholls if he's got some top horses, but he said anyway in an interview about a week ago that he wasn't too fussed being the champion trainer at the moment. Obviously, he would love to be champion trainer still, but he was trying to get more focused on getting more top level National Hunt horses to win all the major prize money and the major races in the National Hunt scene. So it'd be interesting to see how that develops this year. I think John Joe O'Neill could have another good season. Harry Fry's a trainer I've got time for, like I mentioned. He could be a potentially a good one day. Then there's also like the likes of people like Tom Lacey, up and coming, Neil Mulholland. They've all had lots of winners, so it'd be really interesting this year on the National Hunt circuit who will be the top trainers and jockeys. We've gone into a few of them. There's probably a lot more out there that I could name that have got very good claims, are doing well, and having potentially a good season. So they're the people I think potentially will be up there, but let us know who you think will be taking the jockeys title and also the trainers title this year on the National Hunt season, even though I know we are a little bit into it, but there's still many of the big races left to come. I'll be interested to know your thoughts on that. So anyway, if you've liked the video, please like the video for our YouTube page. Also as well, please subscribe to us here at Lucky Loaders 15 if you haven't done so already, for more horse racing daily content and for more videos like this where I give you more debate and discussion about issues within horse racing. And also follow us on Twitter at Lucky Loaders 15 and on Facebook at Lucky Loaders 15. So I hope you all are well, and we'll be uploading our video for today or for tomorrow's horse racing predictions later.